All right, so ask your question. You said you wanted us to do what?
Yes, so my question is how we can look at an abstract like this and then kind of extract from it to use for our work.
Okay,
So why
so
are you there?
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay. So the other time what we discussed was that if you have a topic and you want to just tease out some information from the web, the scholarly papers. Now, one of the things you should do, first of all, you look at the themes in your topic, and that is going to help you to do the search. There are a number of search engines like Web of Science, Scopus. Elsevier, I'm told, is the owner of Scopus. So you go to Elsevier, you can go to other, Google Scholar is one, and probably look for those search terms. So if you are doing something on anomaly detection, then anomaly will be one search term, detection will be another search term. You are doing something on big data, so big data will be another. And then it will give you a kind of a list, okay, of the journals, probably the top ones. You could also do what we call the bibliometric analysis, and for you to know those who are most cited and countries who have written more on the subject, among others. You could also do that. This is to help you to be able to determine which the journals or papers to use and which ones are not predatory, and those authors who are the leaders when it comes to that topic in question. So, for instance, if you're doing bibliometric analysis, if you're doing something on anomaly detection, how many authors have talked about this? Who is the leading author? And it is expected that those people, those giants, you talk about them, right? For what they, you cite them in your work because they are the leading, author. So for this, for instance, let's assume that you pick this paper. This is an international, it's a conference on cloud computing and big data analysis. So also, just that you know, some of the conference papers, if it's a peer-reviewed, if it was peer-reviewed, then you can consider that. If it is not, most conferences, they don't do any rigorous review of the papers that are presented. So you might want to look at journals, all right? If the conference is peer-reviewed and it's indexed, also, that is fine. But if it's not, then that becomes an issue. So you might want to look at that as well. And quite a side. So let's assume that all these conditions have been met. Can you make your screen a little bit bigger? So you would want to start with your, if you can make your screen a little bit bigger.
I think this is okay. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right.
So I think what we can do is this. Now let's pick the abstract. So the topic is on what? Let's look at the topic. The topic is on what? Let's go up a little bit. This topic, for instance, this one is about detecting user behavior anomalies in communication. Fine. So we go to the abstract. But first of all, let me see the table I asked you to develop to sift the data from the abstract. right? Let me see the data.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the heading. So the first thing is to pick the title, right? Let's go to the heading.
Yeah.
The title. So the title, the effect of. So let's do this exercise. Let's pick a fresh one. Now this table is different from the first one. The first table, you're looking at the title. Let's go down. I think that one should be down there.
You mean the
Let
okay,
me
the
see the
second
top
table
one.
is down.
Let me look at the top one, please. The top one.
The top one. Okay, so the top one is here. Okay,
Good.
there we go.
Yeah, fantastic. So this is what you're looking at. Good. So let's add this. Now let's move the recommendation, right? Let's replace that with country. Country. The recommendation.
So we replace recommendation with country.
Country. Good.
Okay.
All right. So what do you intend doing? In fact, this one, what we are doing is actually what, if you do a bibliometric analysis, is going to do for you. So we are doing this manually, right? So now let's assume we are picking that as it were, the paper. So let's switch to the paper. Now we're going to pick the title, right, of the paper.
Okay.
So let's go and pick
Detecting user behavior anomalies in communication networks.
Fantastic. Okay. So what we're actually doing is we are building a summary database, okay, for our study, right?
Okay.
That's what you're doing. So you post it there. Yeah, paste it here. Yeah, good. So that is done. And the second thing is that you want to look at, what's the second? You want to look at
the author.
The author. Yeah. Okay. So let's do that. Let's do that. You see the authors. Just copy what you have there as authors, and let's put. Here you have this guy. Just the name. Okay, just the name. I think you might have to copy it one by one. In a bibliometric analysis, you can get these things. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So the next thing is the purpose of the study. Now let's go there and then let's see where we conceive the purpose of the study. Right? Let's go to the article. So it said mining user behavior and analyzing its anomalies are crucial research issues in detecting data breaches and insider threats. Now, that was an overview, right? You don't need that.
Right.
It says that in this paper, now we are going to talk about the purpose of the study. In this paper, what do? We propose an effective approach using non-textual features for identifying anomaly behaviors in communication networks. That is the purpose of the study, right? So you copy that one, and it is so with a number of paper. Any good paper would have indicated the purpose of the study. The first one is the overview. Some people don't have, some artists, very technical papers, they don't bring the overview. They need space. So these things, they don't need them, because you see this overview, mining user behavior and analyzing it anomaly, a crucial research issue. You see it in the introduction somewhere, right? So they don't really, you see that in there. So they don't really need that in there. So you copy it and let's go and paste. Let's go.
Done that. We've done that.
Good. Fantastic. So bring it up. So the next thing is the method, right? So it says that
method.
Yeah, then the methodology. Yeah, method. The next thing is method. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go. The method. So based on user historic behaviors, we construct the benchmark of behaviors and then measure the deviation of behavior in each what? Snapshot.
Snapshot. Yeah.
Okay, so So that is what they did, a historic behavior. We construct a benchmark. But let's see which kind of tool they use. We don't know the method. It said, finally, we introduce a transform process to derive a comparable normalized score as an indicator of user behavior abnormalities in each snapshot. The experiment on email dataset has demonstrated that our approach is easier, interpretable. Besides, it can be used to spot significant effect from vast masses of network snapshots. So what they didn't do, right, and take note of that, is to state categorically the methodology.
Okay.
They didn't do that. Now, I want us to do this. So for this paper, these things are standard, right? The title, the purpose of the study should be in the abstract. In constructing an abstract, take note. The method should be clearly stated in there. Okay. That they should it should read that the paper use this approach or use this tool or use this to analyze this. It is not in there. So in such cases, you would have to go down to the paper to use to look at the methodology they use. But they said something here. They use non-textual features. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
All right. For identifying what? Anomalies. Non-textual what? Features. To do that. But let's go to be more precise to know which tool they use. And then let's pick a paper, another paper that is a paper that follows a structured abstract construction, and then we use that to do that. So let's go now.
Okay.
Let's go to, you can just type methodology, then we move there.
Oh, okay.
Just search for methodology. So proposed approach, we have it here. No, we have the we have the proposed approach. Have you seen it? Oh, you were there. You just move.
Just a moment.
That was proposed. You can type approach.
Okay. There we go. Can you see it?
No. Aha, proposal. It said, given a captured communication log, we first construct a communication network. Let nodes represent user and edge represent communication record. If the sender sends one message to the recipient at blah, 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 we denote this and we separate the operation and all that. Let's go up. I just want to see if no, let's go up, not down. Let's go up.
Up, right.
Let's go up. Okay, so that's fine. Let's come down. So I think that is seen in the the non-textual features for identifying. That is the method that was used. It is non-text, non-text.
Yeah.
It's a purely quantitative approach, right? I just wanted the model they use so that you could add to it. So quantitative approach is a non-textual, because you are seeing time distribution and all with all the user time distribution with all the formulas and all that. This is a purely quantitative one, right? So let's do that with a frequency, frequency summation and all that. Okay.
There is another paper that I think has a bit more of the structure you mentioned earlier.
No, that's fine. But so I just want you to know. So if you see a paper like that, you have to come in and then do all that so that you can then have an appreciation. So let's go back. So this is what? A quantitative study. It uses the non-textual what? Features.
Approach.
Okay, non-textual features.
Features.
Yeah, and that is what was used to identify the anomaly behaviors, anomalous what behaviors, okay, in communication network. So that is it.
Okay. Okay, so
now let's pick another paper. There's another one.
Okay. Yes, there's another one.
So let's look at it. Is it a high index paper? Okay, let's
yeah, it's from IEEE.
IEEE, okay. So let's make it a little bit bigger, the abstract.
Okay.
A little bigger. So let's see. No, but the other one, Josephine, let's complete the other one. We didn't do the findings. We didn't do
Okay.
that. So let's complete the cycle. So you are done with the go back to your text, the table.
Okay. Can you see the table?
Yeah, it was a quantitative study. Indicate that one there. It was a quantitative study, non-textual, quantitative, dash, non-textual, quantitative study, dash, no. Quantitative study, dash, no. Yeah. Then let's look at the findings. So let's go to the findings. So here the findings were, it was indicated. It said, finally, we introduce a transform process to derive a comparable normalized score, okay, as an indicator of a user behavior in each snapshot. That's part of the methodology anyway. Now, the experiment on email data set has demonstrated, this is where the finding is, has demonstrated, right?
What are you reading?
I'm reading from the old paper, please, the abstract. The abstract.
Okay.
Abstract, let's go there.
Okay, I'm there.
So you are not on the abstract. So read that part. Please read that part.
Finally, we introduce a transform process to derive a comparable normalized score as the indicator of user behavior abnormality in each snapshot. The experiment on email data set has demonstrated that our approach is easily interpretable. Besides, it can be used to spot significant events from vast masses of network snapshots.
So that is the finding, right? Has demonstrated, the experiment has demonstrated on email data It said the experiment on email data set has demonstrated. So that part is the findings. You can copy all that and put it in the findings area. Now, the next thing is let's find out which country was this work done, right? This is to give you an appreciation of actually what has happened, what is happening in which country is writing more on this anomaly detection, which country is not. I mean, it helps you to identify geographical gaps, right?
Okay. I see Beijing, China.
All right, so put it there.
We're done with the first part.
No. It's the artists who are from there, right? But then the work itself, okay, you might find an author in a different country doing works in other countries as well. So let's check the intro or somewhere. Sometimes the topic you will know.
Can you see my screen, Dr. Boison?
Yes, I can. So is it actually, it's not where the authors are, it's where the study was conducted, right? Okay, so what you may have to do, if you've cited China, for instance, then go through the paper and do find, see China, and then step through. So you know that the study population was around emails of people in China, or they probably did it a global kind of thing. It was not just the authors who are coming from China. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think it's just the authors that are coming.
No, so look at, okay, it's just the authors that are coming, right? So
no, but it's supported by some foundation in China.
The grant was coming. This work is supported as part of the National Natural Science Foundation under the grant of okay. But then we need to, so let's go into type population of the study. We want to know who are the participants.
There's nothing there.
Okay. Talk about okay, let's see within the based on our historic behavior, we construct a benchmark of view and then measure deviation of behavior in each snapshot. Okay, just type participants. Participants.
Participant. Nothing comes.
Type users. Type users.
Users.
If it's if some snapshot with many abnormal users that can. So let's stay with the users. Let's go through. Okay. Let's see. Okay, okay. Another popular technique is to discover the pattern with the majority of users closely based on the structure. It says that on individual behavior rather than analyzing patterns formed by the majority of users. Let's still go and see users. We want to see if these users, let's go. So it's in this paper, we studied the problem of behavior network based on non-textual features. In general, most users have regular routine and social interactions. Given the large amount of communication networks, our goal is to utilize user historic behavior to measure the abnormal behavior patterns. For the convenience of comparison, we design a transformation function to derive a normalized score, the outlier, blah, blah. The rest of the paper is organized. We first give an overview. We do that, describe the approach of detecting user anomalies. We present experimental results in session 4, conclusions and all that. Let's still go on the user and see. I mean, you see what you have to go through, okay? You just want to know the steady population, okay? If it were emails, we pull it from where? Was it a global research? Okay. These are things that we need to, I mean, look at. So, if they were emails, where did we collect those emails from, right?
Yeah.
There's no indication of that, and you have to struggle for that. So you can flag that one. Now let's go to another one. You got the whole thing. Now you'll get it anyway. I mean, it will be hidden somewhere, but it shouldn't be so. And these are the things you do to detect the papers. Some papers are high index, yet the fundamental, I mean, issues are not spelled out in there. Okay, so it becomes an issue. In the abstract, you realize that the methodology was in there, though. Of course, non-textual, blah, 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 you should know that it's a quantitative approach, but you wanted more information. So we had to go in and then see, okay, and then the model that they used. So that is quite understandable, but we don't know whose email, which category of emails they are looking at, okay? But email could come from any, I mean, country, but they could also decide to focus on a certain jurisdiction. That was not stated. It was too open, and maybe they should have indicated that they dealt with maybe 100 or 1,000 emails to do this, right? That was not said. So I think this is clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's move to the next one. Let's do the last one and then draw the curtain down for today. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do the next one. Anomaly detection. So let's read the abstract. The same formula. The same formula.
Oh.
Let's go back to your table. Let me indicate something. Let's go back to your table. Okay. Go back to the top. Okay, so we are dealing with what? Title. No, go to the top. Title. I just want title, author, purpose of the study, method, findings, and the country. Right? That's what we are looking at.
Right. Right.
So let's go. Let's go. So with the widespread range of 4G technologies, the upcoming promise of 5G network, there is a strong need for increased network performance and reliability. We don't need that, right? We don't need that. All right. So, however, as these networks become bigger and faster, so does their complexity. So, current network operators detect most of their network failures. All this we don't need. This is very time-consuming and tedious tasks for them. This we don't need. Thereby arise a need for automated anomaly detection and correction sections. Such a system will be a step towards the ultimate goal of a cognitive self-organizing network. Right? All this is not needed. We here take the case of a mobile network. Okay, now we are going to the purpose of the study with hundreds of key performance indicators. Right? Okay, so that is the purpose of the study. Then he moved to what methodology? What? We generate huge amount of what network logs every hour. Okay. And since user behavior has patterns and usage, weekends and all that, it's still talking about methodology. Traffic will be higher than weekend traffic near office areas. We analyze time series analysis. Okay, now the methodology is clearly stated here. Okay, S decomposition based approach. So you copy that one. So we see the purpose of the study, the brief one, and what? The methodology. But all the things that they said are, in my view, they are unnecessary. You understand? An abstract to capture the basic things so that when I read, I know what to do. So you see the difficulty we have. Okay.
Yeah, so this is the purpose here. We here take the case of
and generate
generate huge
every Okay, so let's also take that. First of all, just let's do this systematically. The topic first. Let's paste the topic. Don't paste this one, so we can help others to also the topic first. Yeah.
Okay, so let me put that one. Where is this? So I put that one here. Topic first. Okay.
Go to the authors. They are there. They are all here. Of course, you have to, the numbers they have in front of their names, you have to delete all of them. That's fine. You can do that later. Okay. Then you go to the purpose of the study.
Let me see. Purpose. Okay, purpose, which was
we here take a case.
Yeah.
We here take a case.
Okay, there. So that's the purpose.
Yeah.
Then
the time series analysis up to the approach. Time series, copy from time series. Yeah, up to the time series. Okay, fine. Let's go.
So that's method.
Okay, so what did they find? We explore the continuous, I said, assuming the anomalies, blah, blah, blah. Then he says, we do the analysis to find, have you seen it? The KPIs and the respective elements whose behavior is abnormal. Our results show, have you seen it? Our results show that, well, so let's copy from that. Our results show that, all right, up to Windows.
So that's the findings.
Yeah. All right, so, and then the country, let's see. Where was it then? So we know how to search. Okay, what was it that? Okay, so let's type methodology. Let's type methodology. We are searching.
India.
It was done in India.
Yeah.
Because that can be found in the methodology population, right, of the study. We should be able to.
Nothing is showing up with methodology.
Let's use approach. Most of these IE papers.
Proposed methods.
Okay, they have proposed methods.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have it here. So time series analysis was done. Oh, where is it? It just
time series based anomaly detection is an important. The proposed methods.
Okay, so let's look at
it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
They use the auto-regress time series, decompose trend analysis, and so let's look at population. We want to know the population of the study. Let's type population. Let's find out.
Nothing.
Okay, and let's do users. Let's do that. Okay. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? All right. So it's important that in your work, okay, you indicate the targeted population. The population could be anything. It could be animals. It could be a system that you are observing. And in the methodology, it should be clearly stated. So here you see,
Okay.
it's anomaly detection is well documented. We know there has been a lot of this since in this space. Okay, there are several parametric and non-parametric statistical techniques that has been used, and then also there is it says what? Also there is network intrusion detection. That is also a classical problem of anomaly, blah blah blah. But in all this, okay, we talk about the methodology, but we are not dealing with, it could be secondary data. If it is secondary data, give a brief description of what the data is all about, right? The reason is that if you don't do that, you have serious challenges in terms of the validity of your study. We, the user, those of us who are reading your paper should know if you use secondary data, what is the data point, especially when you're dealing with time series, okay? Time series, Bunks and Jenkins have indicated, Bunks and Jenkins have indicated that you need a minimum of what, 50 data points, right? So these things should be clearly stated in it. It should be clearly stated. Forget about the fact that it's a Scopus index, general, right? It's coming from there. But the point is that these things should be stated because research, everything about research is a method. It's a method, it's an approach. So we need to know so we can place more kind of trust in your data. So you got the data from how did you retrieve the data? Did you work on the data? If we're missing fields, how did you fill that? We need to know the time span. And then you give us some descriptive statistics about the data. We understand it, then we can take it from there. But you see that this is more fixated on the application of the methodology at the expense of what? The data itself, the description of it. They are using more of the tools than doing that. Now, if this is more engineering, and I know they kind of have a different approach in doing some of this and that, but the fact remains that research is scientific, the methods are the same, it doesn't change. It's application that in most cases applied differently in other fields. But hey, in methodology, let us know. If you're doing something relative to, let's say, physical science, where you're doing some observation of maybe some animal, the placebo, and then the other one, then you might say that, okay, these are two animals that I'm dealing with. Even that you need to state and give the description on it. So your participants, your data, if it is secondary or primary, the description of the data is fundamental and central to what you're doing. And regardless of whether the paper is in high index or not, these things are flouted. They need to be checked. And you as a researcher should know some of these things. So you don't also, wade into some of these things, right?
Yeah.
So just look at it. If you can pick another paper, maybe from Emerald Insight, maybe, and then let's see in that area, or let's see. Then we can do that as the last paper, and then take it up from there, right?
Okay. See these. Just one.
If you have any paper of such data, we can look at it.
Well, I took. I don't know if there's anything.
No, so you can open any of them. Let's see.
You mean I should search for a new one?
I just wanted another one just to give a certain perspective. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I can pull one of the papers. From here. So that we look at it. We can do that here.
Okay. Yes. I think there's this one from Elsevier.
Okay, let's look at that.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic. Let's make it a little bit bigger. All right. Then let's scroll it up a little bit. Okay, so for this paper, it says that with the rise of technology and continual economic growth event in modern society, acts of fraud have become much more prevalent in the financial industry, costing institution and consumers hundreds of billions of dollars. Shouldn't it be costing institution and consumers hundreds of billions of dollars annually? Fraudsters are continuously evolving the approach to exploit the vulnerabilities of current prevention measures in place, many of whom are targeting the financial sector. These crimes include all these things are not needed, right? All these things on their own, fraud prevention do not blah, 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 blah. They are, as such, the need for fraud detection system to detect a fraudulent act after they have already been committed on the potential court, blah, 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 blah. Anomaly detection techniques have been interestingly studied in for this purpose by research of the past decade, and many of which employ statistical artificial intelligence and all. Given the justification of the study, we don't need it in an abstract. Supervised learning algorithms have been the most popular types of models studied in research up until recently. However, supervised learning models are associated with many challenges that have been blah, 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 blah. So it says that proposed in recent published. This survey aims to investigate and present a thorough review of, so this is the purpose of the most popular and effective anomaly detection technique applied to detect financial fraud and all that in the areas of whatever learning. Let's go up and let's see. So this one used systematic literature review. Finish. That's all. There was no findings presented. That at the end of the literature review, what did we find? So take note of this. You might see papers in a very high index journal, right? It doesn't really mean that it's a super paper. It doesn't really mean. It doesn't really mean. I mean seriously, because see, in the abstract, we should know the purpose of the study. We should know the method that would use, okay? The research design, the method of data analysis, what they found, okay? And the conclusions and the implication of the study. I just want to pull one Emerald Insight paper so you see how some of these things churn out. I just want you to, I hope I get one. So there's another paper that looks like it's an IEE access.
Let me stop sharing then.
Okay. Yeah. So let me just show this. But I'll show you a typical one. This one, are you seeing it?
Yes, I can see it now.
IE access, right? Okay.
Okay.
But watch something. In the era of paper-based contract, a lot of time labor has been employed and all that. The emerging electronic contract enhances. This is the topic. The topic is talking about what? A blockchain-driven yes, electronic contract system for commodity procurement in what? The power industry. Now, then it goes on to say that all these things said here, okay, are not needed in the abstract. The greatest of respect. All right. So, however, due to the central systems architecture and database and all that, these things can be integrated in the introduction, right?
Okay, so doesn't that make the abstract very how do I put it? Very small. I mean, very tiny.
No, the abstract means what? No, abstract means what?
Is it like a summary of what you're doing?
Okay, right. All right. So if you say that, look at the topic. If you say that, okay, in this study, okay, if we're doing something that we propose a blockchain-driven electronic contract management system for what? Commodity procurement in electronic power industry, right? The study employed a systematic review, all right? The study used this design, all right? Okay. And they would have said that, I mean, use this design. The population of the study was so, this number of people, do you understand? Briefly, and we use systematic review or whatever, structural equation model or regression, or we use another non-parametric analysis to analyze the data, right? Or any model to do.
I get it.
Then we move to findings. Findings show that blah, 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 blah. The study concludes. Then you state it. Now, the implication of the study is then you give a very succinct, okay?
Yeah.
Rather than introducing this, which is supposed to be in the introduction.
In the introduction.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And most times they take whatever they have in the introduction and then maybe some of them think that they need to give an overview of the abstract. But the overview is in the introduction. If the person needs to read, he has to go there and read it. Okay, if I read your abstract, I should find these blocks in it. Okay. And that's why most times I like the way Emerald put some of these things inside, put some of these things in perspective. And you will see that they've written purpose. All right. Then let me just search and get you one. You see purpose, and then they will indicate emerald inside papers. Okay. You see clearly stated. Clearly stated. Let me, I just want to get just one paper. All right. Fantastic. So let's see. Jasmine, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen this.
This is it.
Okay.
Right? Purpose of the study. This paper aims to, do you get it? It has done. Design methodology approach. The proposition are examined through a survey of what? 320 firms, population mentioned. Supplement with 30-inch depth case studies based in the country, stated clearly. Clearly. Find this. It found that the recombination of assets, it's stated. Now, then it goes to the extent to tell you the originality and the value of the study.
Can I see the topic, please?
Right? Asset recombination international partnership as a source of improved innovation capabilities in China. Here, you even know that it was done in China, right? So it's easy when you are working with this, okay, to know if it is not in China, in other countries. I mean, some statements in the methodology should help. In other jurisdictions, apart from originality value, here, originality and value is talking about the implication. Now, look at this. The study reveals important patterns of reciprocal transfer, sharing the integration for different asset categories, tacit and codified, and different forms of PSA, and explicitly links these to different innovation performance outcomes. The paper report on these findings making an empirical contribution, right? An empirical contribution.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So the paper reveals the pattern of reciprocal transfer, sharing, the integration. No, it said the paper report on these findings making an empirical contribution, because the research at the end of the day should be able to contribute what? Practice, and also what? Theory. The paper report on these findings making an empirical contribution in an important context, China-based partnership, right? This paper also contributes to conceptual development, theory, connecting various kinds of PSA, tacit, codified assets, and recombinant advantages. Limited conceptual, methodological, empirical contributions are made in linking asset integration with measurable, measurable innovation performance outcome in international partnership. Solid. Right? Solid. So we need to look at these things very well, right? To be very honest with you. Look at these things very well. Okay. So we'll meet another time and see this. We've been able to. Can you share your screen? We've been able to look at how we can elicit some data from the papers that we are looking at, and then also see how. I mean, we've been able to do that. Let's go to the main table. All right. So we are saying that with some of these papers, what you do in your initial constellation of the hundreds of papers that you have, to put them in perspective, you can do this. Just we go. Yeah. So you have the title, the author, purpose of the study. These things can be found in what? The abstract. A very good abstract should have this, and I've shown you one, okay, that you can see, and that gives you an idea. And if you have a glance through, that's what happens. So those that have been asking you to read a paper a day, this is how, after you read the paper, this is what you put in. Now you can do an initial screen through all the abstract. That's fine, and put them in this table. And the next meeting, we are going to see how we read the text itself and what we take out, and how that will inform what we do with our study. So thank you so much, Josephine, for your time.